What's up, everybody? This is Crazy Cross, and I am going to talk to you about the chameleon. His real name is Dmitry Smirnov. He is a fictional supervillain appearing in Spider-Man, and he's actually the first villain that Spider-Man ever faced. In Spider-Man number 1, The Amazing Spider-Man, 1963, he is the half-brother of Kraven the Hunter. He is known as the Master of Disguise. He impersonates virtually anybody. He was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. He has formed teams and been a part of the KGB, Sinister 12, Sinister 6, Hydra, the Exterminators, and he's part of the Kravinoff family. He's a brilliant method actor, an impressionist. He has enhanced strength and endurance and longevity. Surprisingly, he has appeared in Marvel Cinematic Universe film Spider-Man Far From Home, the 2019, and he was portrayed by Newman Ackar. He was not identified in the movie though, so he's been ranked Spider-Man's 14th greatest enemy. The chameleon was born a Soviet citizen. In his youth, he was a servant and half-brother to Sergei Kravinoff, who a lot of times abused him, made him feel worthless. He had admiration but resentment towards his brother. He felt he could never really amount to anything in his brother's eyes or to the people around him, like his parents. Eventually, he immigrated to the United States, and that's when he impressed his brother Craven by just impersonating the neighborhood kids and friends and family members. The first time that he was becoming a criminal, he decided to impersonate Spider-Man. He was caught and arrested very quickly by Spider-Man. He decided to team up with his brother Craven, who had just came back to the States, and they decided to go after Spider-Man. It was actually the chameleon who coerced his brother Craven into hunting Spider-Man. Now, he didn't only go after Spider-Man though. He's also battled Iron Man, the Hawk, Hank Pym, where he robbed Pym's laboratory for documents to combat the virus 9, while delivering the documents and the shrunken Hawk to Hydra. He was defeated by Ant-Man. He's also had run-ins with Daredevil when he disguised himself as Torpedo to fight Daredevil. When Kraven committed suicide, the chameleon became obsessed with making Spider-Man suffer for his failure to prevent this. He ingested a serum which made his face permanently featureless and malleable. He attempted to kidnap America's leading expert on superconductors, but was thwarted by Spider-Man yet again. He then decided to kidnap J. Jonah Jameson, then approached the Magi for support to be New York's new crime lord, and formed an alliance with Hammerhead. Disguised as a scientist, the chameleon temporarily removes Spider-Man's powers. He's also allied himself with the Femme Fatales. It's just a female group. Their members are Knockout, Bloodlust, Mind Blast, and Whiplash. Also, they teamed up with Scorpion, the Tarantula, to try and take out Spider-Man and Black Cat, but they failed and he escaped. Now the chameleon, he's more of a team player because he even decided to form an alliance with Harry Osborn as the Green Goblin before Harry's death. The chameleon did this to find out Spider-Man's secret identity, and he thought that the only way that that could be achieved was to find out Parker. So he made androids of Peter Parker's parents. The chameleon admits that he did this just to see if Peter Parker was indeed Spider-Man. The plan messed both Peter and Chameleon up psychologically. It was so bad that Spider-Man actually renounced his Peter Parker identity completely. So he was only Spider-Man. But at the same time, Chameleon had to go to Ravencroft Asylum because he was again also messed up. Chameleon escapes the hospital before the trial. He tries to convince Spider-Man of actually a hallucinating writer who had suffered a mental breakdown after his daughter's death in a car accident, but Peter managed to break through this deception due to his own strength of will. The chameleon decided to, since he knew who Spider-Man was, Peter Parker, decided to go to his family and friends and attack them personally, but he was subdued by Mary Jane because she beat him down with a baseball bat. He had appeared to be destroyed by Alusha Kravinoff, which is the second Kraven the Hunter, Kraven's son and Chameleon's nephew, but was later seen walking into a hospital. Now, after tricking Spider-Man to the bridge where Gwen Stacy's death occurred on a pretext of having kidnapped Mary Jane, he declared his own loneliness and love for Peter. When Peter left and threw himself off the bridge, he reappeared sometime later in a mental institution, completely incapacitated, believing himself to be Sergei Kravinoff rather than his true self. He later reappeared in his chameleon identity, part of the Sinister 12 villain team organized by Norman Osborn when he was the Green Goblin. The group members are Mac Gargan, Scorpion, Sandman, Vulture, Electro, Chameleon, the Lizard, Hydra Man, the Shocker, Hammerhead, Boomerang, and Tombstone. Everybody who Spider-Man has pretty much thrown in jail, and they were all financed by Green Goblin Norman Osborn. After the Sinister 12 were defeated, he decided to gather a group called the Exterminators after Spider-Man was unmasked. The group included Will-O-the-Wisp, Scarecrow, Swarm, and Electro. They also blackmailed the Molten Man to join them, all so they could defeat Spider-Man, like always, and also attack his family. So he actually tried to defeat Aunt May by disguising himself as Peter, but Aunt May didn't fall for it because he was going to murder her. And she beat him with a plate of oatmeal raisin cookies. That's funny. Rhino was actually part of the group too, and he actually defeated Spider-Man, but he wasn't able to collect the payment from the chameleon who formed the group because Chameleon was already caught. In Chameleon's 2010 appearance in The Amazing Spider-Man, the writer Fred Van Lent placed a stronger emphasis on his skills of disguise rather than his superhuman powers. In this portrayal, Chameleon kidnaps people and brutally kills them by dumping them in acid baths after listening to them beg for their lives. He alters his pitch to sound exactly alike and takes a face print to make a mask. This more chilling chameleon also seeks to fix the lives of his faces, attempting to rectify the problems of their lives while he poses as them, as a part of some warped heroic view of himself. At some point, the older chameleon actually gets a belt and he can just press a button and turn into whatever he desires, and that was portrayed most the best on the animated series Spider-Man from the 1990s. And that was the brief history of the chameleon. Hopefully we see more from him. They have other versions of him. If you would like to hear about those, let me know. Leave at least 10 likes, or yeah, 10 likes, and I'll do that version, those other versions, all in one video. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm Crazy Cross, CrossPods 1.0 if you look me up on Mugen Multiverse, which I'll be posting this video too. And leave comments. Tell me how you liked it. Tell me what you thought, and cross out.